Welcome back to Gleaning and Gathering. Yes, we're here this morning once again in this studio. It's true. Thank you. Thank you for all of you who joined us here at 4:30 in the morning. It's good to have everybody here, and it's good to finally be back again at the old microphone. I have been on a long journey to several places. I'm not going to tell you about all of it. However, we are back again, and that's really all I need to say about that. It's been a journey, and I'm thankful for God's protection through it all, and being really, really sick for a period of time, and just finishing up my third round of antibiotics today, and steroids, including steroid shot, and lots of really, really heavy medication. But thankfully was able to get over this pneumonia and back into the saddle again. So thankful for God's protection through it, and thankful for the way that he helped me. So it wasn't just the miles, it was also lots of physical challenges. So I'm thankful for how God has helped. One of the things that I am thinking about today is the need for coaching. And perhaps that's because 2 months towards transformative action is beginning tomorrow. It's my second round, actually, of teaching this, going through the full focused framework with leaders. And by the way, that's not just for guys. We have 2 ladies who are in this group this time, actually. And it's great to have everyone that wants to learn and grow and use their time better. And so that's the group that I'll be coaching. So far we have 6 signed up. We've got a few slots left, and we'll see. But I'm excited about the great group that we've got lined up for coaching tomorrow. But a lot of people may ask the question, and I think rightfully so, why would I spend money on a coach? Why would I spend money to have someone teach me things that I could probably learn on my own? And it's a fair question. You could get a full focus planner. You could learn how to use it. You could implement that in your life and probably be able to make it happen. I also think you could probably learn to play the piano by watching YouTube videos. I don't know anybody who actually has, but you could. It's within the realm of possibility. But I think that one of the reasons that people who really want to learn an instrument have a teacher, one of the reasons why anyone who plays a sport at a high level really wants a coach, is that coaches are bold enough to say what other people won't say. And they're not connected to what happens if you do or don't follow their advice. And so coaches can challenge your thinking. And I think the problem with success for many people is that you rise to a level that people stop challenging your thinking. Everybody who is possibly going to challenge your thinking, you are signing their paycheck. You're the one who is there, and they say, yes, sir, no, sir. How high would you like me to jump, sir? And they have something on the line. And so to a degree, if you say it, they're going to do it. And they may not think that your thinking on this may be the best, but they're not going to tell you. They're not going to challenge your thinking. And I think that in success, many times people rise to that level where fewer and fewer people are willing to call them on anything, but are also unwilling to challenge their thinking. And so they get stuck in this box. But coaches aren't in that box. And so a coach can really help to challenge your thinking in key areas. A coach is someone who can come alongside and not just ask about the facts that are in your life, but why is this the way that it is? I think that coaching for me has been a real joy. I have so being an Enneagram 8, I love challenging things. I'm the challenger, and probably much to the chagrin of many around me at times. I will say the things that other people are thinking but won't say. But in relation to coaching, I feel like that God has given me some skills and some experience in an area that now, as I'm walking the road with others who are walking a similar road, I'm trying to coach the person that I was 8 years ago. I'm trying to share with that busy individual who's got all kinds of things going on, but there's not a lot of focus. And because of that, their productivity is not nearly what it could be. And so for me, trying to help leaders to take that next step in not just getting lots of things done, but getting the right things done. And really asking the challenging questions and providing them with a system, with a framework that can help them be able to implement habits in their life, systems in their life that are going to actually move them towards the finish line. You know, one of the questions this past week that I've been chewing on is this idea of having conversations. And I was listening to a podcast by Charles Duhigg, and he wrote a book entitled How to Unlock the Secret Language of Connection. And great book. I haven't read it yet, but he overviewed it in a podcast on the Carrie Nyhoff show. And, you know, we tend to think about conversations, he says, as being about one thing, but they're not. And every conversation really is made up of multiple conversations. And this is what was super helpful to me. He said there's really three main kinds of conversation. One, practical conversations. So it's about getting tasks done, understanding what it is that needs to be accomplished, who's going to do it, making sure that we're clear on that. The second kind are emotional conversations. And emotional conversations are about feelings. How did that make you feel when he said that? And then the third kind of conversations are social conversations about how we relate to each other and identities that are important to us. So those various roles that we're in. And if we're not having the same kind of conversation, then we're not going to really hear each other. We're going to pass like ships in the night. When I heard this made so much sense to me. Because there are times when my wife and I are having a conversation that I think is a practical conversation. And it's not. It's actually an emotional conversation. And I'm looking for the action point. And there isn't one. She wants me to hear what she's saying. She wants me to feel what she's feeling. And I'm still looking for the action point. And I think we're having a practical conversation about how do we solve this problem when we're not. And so that made so much sense to me. And he said, you know, the first thing that you need to do, the first rule of conversation is to figure out what kind of conversation that you're actually having by asking questions. Starting first of all with what kind of conversation are we having? And rather than maybe just overtly asking that, just looking at those three different boxes and saying, is this a practical conversation? Or is this emotional? And then explore how identities are important to the discussion. You know, we all have more than one role in our life, more than one identity. And sometimes when Kaylin comes into my office, she's sitting down as daddy and daughter. That's where we're at. Other times she's sitting down as teacher's assistant and integrator. You know, I'm the integrator at Heartland. A few layers up in the accountability chart. And so there are times when she's, as an employee, cluing me in on something that I may need to know about. But those are different roles. And for me, understanding what role we're in when we're having whatever conversation we're having is important. The way that I respond to them is going to be different. And we may see things differently depending on which identity is really speaking. When I'm talking as daddy, I can have one whole set of feelings that as integrator, I'm really not allowed to have. And when I am working in that box, when I have my integrator hat on, I have to toe the party line. I have to look out for the best interest of the organization. We can't really care about people deeply if we don't unpack those other identities and show them that they are truly seen and heard. And so our goal should be to make sure that our communication is not just transactional. That person that is working for us, they may have kids who've been sick this last week. And so their role as mother is going to play into how they come to and show up at their work in the development office. And so we need to understand that and make sure that they feel seen and are heard. And then just listen a little more when people tell you what kind of conversation they want. So ask the deep questions that will go deeper. So-and-so said this to me. Well, how did that make you feel? And prove that we're listening. Ask a question, listen well, and then share back in your own words what you heard them saying. And then ask if you get it right. And then don't ask about the facts in one's life. Ask how they feel about their life. I think that for most of us as leaders, the greatest ability that we can bring to the organization and to the relationships that we have is self-awareness. Being aware of how we come across. And I know for me, recognizing that jumping into task mode before people have really been able to fully unpack what they're dealing with is a mistake. I need to make sure that they're okay as a person. I need to hear them, listen well, and make sure that we're having the same kind of conversation. There was a great line that they shared in this, and it's one way of reframing things. So correct me if I'm wrong, but it seems like ... Starting with that can be incredibly helpful. Not painting yourself into a corner, but making sure that the reality as we understand it is communicated clearly. And so leaving the door open to deeper conversations, I think, is really, really powerful. We're all looking through a lens on the world. And I think the power of coaching is helping someone to see beyond their lens. Another great line this past week that I heard in a podcast: a man with an experience is not at the mercy of a man with an opinion. When you've been through something, when you've experienced something, there's a power about that has a way of galvanizing the way you see things. This quote from Dallas Willard I picked up as well, that God's ultimate aim in human history is a loving community of all-inclusive persons with himself included as its primary sustainer and most glorious inhabitant. And then a question: what can I bring to life today? What do you want me to be working on, animating, developing? There's a lot of things that I'm working on right now. And coaching, the consulting work that I'm doing with Heartland Christian School and my role there. There's the work that's ramping up here at Victory Acres. Thankful for the Lehman family arriving, and we're going to be getting all the flocks and herds here this next week. And we're working on fences yesterday and trying to get things dialed in for the next round of what's going to be happening with that. There's the congregation, the gathering that's meeting here. There's the work that I'm doing with Sacred Roots. There's lots of things that are on my board right now as I look up at my 6x6 board, 6 weeks, 6 initiatives, things that I'm trying to move forward. But as a leader, I want to make sure that I'm taking care of people. I want to make sure that I am serving people well. And as I try to bring things to life today and do the work that God's given me to do day by day, I want to be someone who is bringing value to every single relationship and conversation. I want to be a giver, not a taker. And I want to make sure that as I'm having conversations with people that they're not walking away more confused than before we started, but they're approaching it with greater clarity, with a greater degree of understanding and realizing that they are seen, they are heard, they are valued. And I'm just thankful for the opportunity to be able to do that. I'm thankful for the work that God's given me to do. And it's crazy busy sometimes. But then there are moments like this past weekend where we were just hanging out at God's Bible School and College, there for the volleyball tournament, watching Sarah play a little bit of volleyball, but just there with family, there with friends. And it was just so good. There wasn't the pressure to perform. There wasn't a sense that I had to be something or do something or perform on some stage to justify my existence. It was just being. So incredibly good. And this morning, as I endeavor to share with the congregation here at the gathering, the topic that I'm going to be sharing about is just the whole picture of the church as family. There are a lot of different pictures in Scripture, but one of them is the household of God. It's God's family. And the lessons that God teaches us inside of his family. And I'm excited. I'm excited about the way in which God is shaping the work that's going on here at Victory Acres, the work that God is doing here at the gathering. And I'm so thankful that we get to be part of it. I don't know if we can help you along the way. I don't know where you're at in your journey, but I just want to say that if you are in need of a coach, someone who can speak into your life and maybe would help you to see things that you are not seeing on your own, someone who could challenge your thinking, who's bold enough to say the things that other people won't say, but you probably need to hear, then I encourage you to reach out to us. Heimlich Family Coaching and Consulting is the name of the organization. You can find it at heimlichfamilyconsulting.com. And we have an opportunity there where you can book a discovery call and just have a short conversation with me to talk about what it is you're needing and what it is we offer. We have group coaching that's beginning again February 10th and continuing on through the end of March. And then we also have one-on-one coaching for select clients. And so working with folks that are wanting to take the next step, go to the next level, we also have that available as well. Well, thanks so much for taking time out of the 4 million plus podcasts that are out there. I know there's lots of places that you could be listening. And the fact that you would take a few minutes out of your life and join me, I don't take that for granted. So thank you. And again, feel free to rate and share this podcast if you think it's something that would help others in their journey for gleaning and gathering. God bless.